Welcome to our college briefing show, folks. Today, we're diving into some incredible college football moments. Arizona State's Raleek Brown had a career night with 255 rushing yards, helping his team stay in the Big 12 title hunt with a big win over Colorado. Meanwhile, Penn State's Kaytron made history by becoming the school's all-time rushing leader, powering his team to a 37-10 victory over Nebraska. And don't miss the story of a Japanese man who won $3.8 million in the lottery but kept it a secret from his wife, living a life of luxury in secret. Next up, we've got some fascinating social and tech stories. In Spain, residents are experiencing pure joy through group activities like dancing and cheering. It's called humanoid, and it boosts happiness and connection among people. Plus, in the robotics world, the first mass-produced humanoid robots are shipped out, but experts question if they're really practical for industry or just a sci-fi dream. Finally, in some serious news, a shocking kidnapping in Nigeria saw children taken from their school by armed motorcyclists, raising alarms about safety in the region. On the political front, concerns are growing as the American Indian College Fund warns that plans to shift Native education programs away from the Department of Education could threaten Native students' futures. Please continue to watch for more detailed coverage. The Toronto Star vividly captures Arizona State's remarkable victory over Colorado, highlighting Raleek Brown's extraordinary performance that kept the Sun Devils in the hunt for the Big 12 title. Brown's electrifying 255 rushing yards, the third highest in Arizona State history, and his clutch 88-yard touchdown after a fumble exemplify his resilience and game-changing ability. Despite a costly fumble, Brown redeemed himself with a spectacular run that sealed the game, showcasing his determination and the team's stout defense that limited Colorado to just 3 points off turnovers. The article paints a picture of a team battling through adversity, with Arizona State's offense amassing 580 yards and outscoring their opponents decisively in the second half, all while fans cheer on the Dion Shuffle celebration and witness a near-trick play that nearly resulted in a touchdown. Penn State's triumph over Nebraska is vividly detailed, emphasizing Kaytron historic achievement as the school's career rushing leader with 3,954 yards. The narrative underscores Allen's dominance, rushing for 160 yards and 2 touchdowns, and highlights how Penn State's defense stifled Nebraska's offense, forcing turnovers and limiting their yardage. The game's momentum was captured through Allen's explosive 50-yard run and his subsequent touchdowns, which extended Penn State's lead and secured their second consecutive win under interim coach Terry Smith. The article reflects the emotional scene as Smith, fighting back tears, witnesses his team's success, and underscores Nebraska's struggles to establish a consistent offensive line, hinting at their bowl game aspirations slipping away amidst their offensive woes. The Toronto Star vividly portrays Michigan's commanding 45-20 victory over Maryland, with Bryson Kuzzel's standout performance running for 100 yards and 3 touchdowns, including runs of 19 and 1 yards in the third quarter. Despite injuries to key players, Michigan's ground game proved unstoppable, finishing with its highest conference scoring this season, and setting the stage for their upcoming showdown against Ohio State. The narrative captures the energy of the game, highlighting Maryland's early scoring and their failed surprise onside kick attempt, which allowed Michigan to seize control. Maryland's struggles in defending the run and establishing a consistent offense are emphasized, painting a picture of a team facing challenges ahead, while Michigan's resilient performance fuels hopes for playoff contention. The South China Morning Post shares the story of S., a retired Japanese man who won a staggering 600 million yen, roughly $3.8 million in the lottery, yet chose to conceal his fortune from his frugal wife. Living modestly on a combined pension of $2,000 a month, S. had saved enough to support their family's needs, but his discovery of the windfall ignited a desire for luxury. He secretly indulged in high-end hot spring resorts, a luxury car, and extensive travel across Japan, spending over $116,000 in just half a year, all while maintaining a facade of poverty. His internal conflict grew as guilt and loneliness set in, leading him to seek financial advice and invest most of his winnings into secure insurance for his family's future. His story highlights the complex emotional landscape that sudden wealth can evoke, especially when it clashes with ingrained values of effort and modesty, sparking social media debates about happiness and authenticity in wealth. The Associated Press explores the powerful phenomenon of collective effervescence, or humanoid, which describes the intense feelings of unity and joy experienced during group activities like festivals, sports events, or communal rituals. In Spain's San Pedro Manrique, residents participate in a fiery ritual where they walk across burning coals, and the crowd's cheers amplify the sense of shared purpose and collective energy. Similarly, in stadiums packed with fans, synchronized chanting and cheering produce physiological responses such as synchronized heartbeats and elevated endorphins, fostering a profound sense of connection. Psychologist Kelly McGonigal emphasizes that engaging in physical, in-person activities, dancing, cheering, or singing, can cultivate this collective joy, which enhances well-being by creating bonds and shared positive emotions. Her research underscores the importance of active participation over passive observation, highlighting how such communal experiences can boost mental health and social cohesion. The Sydney Morning Herald discusses the recent debut of humanoid robots by China's UB Tech, showcasing their synchronized march into delivery trucks amid claims of mass production. Despite the impressive visuals, skepticism remains about their practical utility. Critics question whether these robots are truly capable of performing complex work tasks or if their demonstrations are merely staged for publicity. Experts like Toby Walsh argue that humanoid robots are fundamentally inefficient for factory work, as their design makes simple tasks like walking or manipulating objects exceedingly difficult compared to specialized, purpose-built robots with articulating arms. Most successful industrial robots are non-humanoid, optimized for specific functions such as welding or logistics, often operating in environments designed for machines rather than humans. The real motivation behind humanoid robots, Walsh suggests, is not practicality but the allure of innovation and investment, leveraging our fascination with human-like machines rather than addressing genuine industrial needs. The Toronto Star vividly recounts the joy and excitement surrounding Toronto's 121st Santa Claus Parade, a cherished annual event that transforms the city into a winter wonderland. The parade, set to feature a dazzling array of 27 hand-painted floats, marching bands, and festive performers, promises to enchant an estimated 750,000 spectators along its route through downtown Toronto. With the parade starting at Christie Pitts and weaving through major streets like Bloor, St. George, and Yonge, the event is a spectacle of holiday cheer, despite the chilly weather forecast of 8 degrees Celsius and a slight chance of drizzle. The story highlights the parade's rich history, dating back to 1905, and the vibrant community spirit that keeps it alive, supported by sponsors and government funding after facing financial challenges last year. The event will be broadcast live on YouTube, inviting viewers to partake in the festivities from afar, while the city prepares with road closures and TTC service adjustments to accommodate the crowds and ensure a smooth celebration. Meanwhile, the AP reports on a remarkable football game where Michigan's resilience shone through as Bryson Kuzel, a walk-on running back, seized his moment in the spotlight. With injuries depleting Michigan's backfield, Kuzel stepped up impressively, rushing for 100 yards and 3 touchdowns against Maryland, showcasing determination and grit. Michigan's coach emphasized the importance of team depth and the next man up mentality, praising Kuzel's performance and the strength of the Wolverines' offensive line, which created opportunities for him to shine. The story captures the thrill of college football, illustrating how perseverance and trust in the team's system can lead to unexpected heroes on the field, especially in high-stakes games like this one, which keeps Michigan on track for their upcoming showdown against Ohio State. In a different vein, Stanford's football victory over California, also covered by the AP, marks a significant milestone for the team under interim coach Frank Reich. The game was characterized by a series of dramatic turnovers, with Jay Green and Darius Davis returning fumbles for touchdowns, turning the tide in Stanford's favor. Despite a sluggish start, the Cardinal capitalized on Cal's mistakes, 3 lost fumbles and numerous penalties, to secure a 31-10 win, their first in the rivalry since 2020 and their best season in recent years. This victory not only lifted spirits but also demonstrated the team's resilience and progress under new leadership, setting a hopeful tone for the future as they prepare to face top-ranked Notre Dame. The story underscores the importance of seizing opportunities and the unpredictable nature of college football, where even a team with a rough season can rally to produce a memorable win. The Sydney Morning Herald vividly recounts the harrowing scene at St. Mary's School in Niger State, Nigeria, where young children, some as young as 6, were awakened in the early hours by armed men on motorcycles. These assailants fired shots into the air before storming the elementary dormitories, forcibly loading dozens of terrified students into a truck and vanishing into the darkness. The incident, part of a disturbing pattern of violence in Nigeria's northwest, a region plagued by criminal gangs, Islamist insurgents, and banditry, highlights the ongoing chaos that endangers lives and disrupts education. The community's grief is compounded by uncertainty over the number of abducted children, with reports varying from 50 to over 300, as local families and authorities grapple with the aftermath. International attention has been drawn by U.S. officials, including Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and Congressman Riley Moore, who have expressed concern over the violence and called for strategic intervention, emphasizing the tragedy of children caught in a cycle of violence fueled by both criminal and militant groups. The Washington Post delves into the broader implications of this violence, focusing on the U.S. government's response to the crisis and the political tensions surrounding it. The recent threats by President Trump to intervene militarily in Nigeria if the persecution of Christians persists underscore the heightened international concern. Meanwhile, Nigerian authorities have responded by closing schools and deploying security measures, yet the entrenched insecurity remains pervasive. Experts warn that the wave of kidnappings, which have surged in recent years, often involve complex interactions between criminal gangs and Islamist militants, sometimes exchanging hostages for ransom or collaborating for profit. The situation is further complicated by Nigeria's deep societal divisions, with Christian and Muslim communities both suffering from violence. Analysts like James Barnett warn that this could signal a new cycle of mass kidnappings, driven more by opportunism than ideology, with the potential to escalate if the government's responses are not carefully managed. The Native News Online reports on a different but equally concerning issue: the U.S. federal government's plan to transfer Native American education programs from the Department of Education to other agencies, sparking alarm among tribal leaders and educators. The Trump administration's proposal to shift oversight of programs like the Office of Indian Education and the Bureau of Indian Education to the Departments of Interior, Labor, Health, and State raises fears of jeopardized funding, diminished oversight, and disrupted services for Native students. Tribal leaders emphasize that the federal government bears a trust responsibility to provide quality education, which should not be outsourced to states that lack treaty obligations. Critics argue that this move risks weakening the support system for Native higher education and jeopardizing the sustainability of tribal colleges, which are vital for community development and cultural preservation. The organization calls for vigilant monitoring to ensure that Native students' access to education remains protected, underscoring the importance of upholding federal commitments and the sovereignty of tribal nations amidst ongoing policy shifts. The Sydney Morning Herald reports that Amelia Hamer, a rising star within the Liberal Party, has secured the Malvern pre-selection in a decisive victory, outperforming three competitors including Jacqueline Blackwell, who was backed by former federal treasurer Josh Frydenberg. Hamer, an Oxford-educated grandniece of Victorian Premier Sir Rupert Hamer, demonstrated her political strength by winning outright in the first round, despite expectations of a close contest. Her recent political efforts, including a near miss in the federal election for Kooyong, have solidified her reputation as a formidable candidate. The contest drew over 200 party members at Caulfield Racecourse, and Hamer received prominent endorsements from Jeff Kennett, contrasting with Blackwell's rising organizational influence within the party. The Toronto Star highlights Troy's football victory over Georgia State, with Goose Crowder leading the Trojans with an impressive performance, passing for 361 yards and 4 touchdowns without an interception. Crowder's precise throws facilitated key touchdowns for DJ Epps and Ethan Connor, propelling Troy to a 31-19 win and positioning them for a shot at the conference championship. Georgia State struggled with a winless record, suffering their 8th consecutive loss, as Christian Valou threw for 307 yards with 1 touchdown. The game showcased Troy's offensive prowess, with multiple players contributing significantly, and set the stage for their upcoming playoff challenge against Southern Miss. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.
Shadows blend, rise of empires no end. Dragons well, God and fate in the shade. Curtain war, silent fight, cradles burn, black and night. Through the storm, the ugly economic power, through the sea. Curtain war, silent fight, cradles burn, black and night. Through the storm, the ugly workers' fate in the shade. Curtain war, silent fight, cradles burn, black and night. Through the spawn, the ugly economic power rules the sea. Contract sign, betrayals deep, backroom deals, folks asleep, and popsicle leads insatiable crime. In this mental wasteland, dreams die. Contract sign, betrayals deep, backroom deals, vultures sleep, and popsicle leads insatiable crime. In this mental wasteland, dreams die. Isaac sees, ancient law, future built, unpaid and more.